We'll start in about 2 minutes time. Okay, can you sit anywhere or? Anywhere you like, yeah. Just don't obstruct the projector and then everyone else will sit to the edges. Thank you. No, I've already stolen the place. When you come in, don't obstruct the projector and if you can't sit down, go to the edges. Starting in 2 minutes time. Sound good? We're airing in 10, 9, 8, 7, 8, 9, 4, 3, 1.
Welcome to the cube. In this room, there are rules you must understand. The actors before you are my puppets, and they are about to take you into a world that will dull your senses. So, be prepared for some outbursts of dance, sassy comebacks, and laughter. It will all seem like hallucination. Oh, and don't forget to enjoy yourselves. Rita, come on down. Frank, come on down.
Holy shit!
Yes. No, I distinctively remember telling you that I would not be home for tea. I shall need to go to the pub. I will definitely need to go to the pub. Yes, I will, yes. Well, I've got this woman from the OU course coming, haven't I? And I'll have to wash away my dreams of making literature. Well, darling, if you're trying to assume some form of guilt in me, you should have prepared something other than lamb and ratatouille. Because, darling, I like my lamb done to the point of abuse, and I know fully well that ratatouille cannot be burned. Darling, you could incinerate ratatouille. Burn. I'm going to have to go. Someone at the door. Come in! Yes, pop into the oven. Go on. Yes. Come in!
Well, what's he coming in on, eh? It's that bleeding Angel on the door. You ought to get that fixed.
Yes, I suppose I was meant to.
There's always good meaning to it, is it? One of these days you'll be shouting, come on in! And the porter on the other side won't be able to get in, and you won't be able to get out.
You are?
What am I?
Pardon?
What?
You're a wizard, Harry!
Put your dick in the fucking hole! That's it!
Yes, I suppose it is, yes.
It's heavy enough.
I've actually known this for about 10 years, you know.
But there's no suppose about it. Look at the tits.
Yes, you're probably right.
I mean, when he painted it, do you think that he wanted to turn people on? Don't you, did you know? You didn't paint pictures like that just to admire the brush strokes, do you?
No, you're probably right.
Do you get a lot like me?
Pardon?
Do you get a lot of students like me?
Not exactly, no.
Oh, I was dead surprised when you took me, you know. I thought, well, it's different, isn't it? The real university to the university.
This is actually the first experience I have. You're the first OU course I've done.
Do you need the money?
I do, as a matter of fact, yes.
Yeah. It's terrible these days, the money with the inflation and that, isn't it?
Yes, well, this university is supposed to embrace a more comprehensive studentship, so...
Degrees for dishwashers.
Would you care to sit down?
Can I smoke?
Tobacco?
Yeah. Was that a joke? Yeah, do you want one?
I'd love one.
I'll have one.
I can't. I made a promise not to smoke.
Well, I would tell you one.
Promise?
Only oath was the next brownie.
Now, what is it you want to know?
Well, everything.
Everything? That's rather a lot, isn't it?
Well, I'm a student now, aren't I? And I'll have to do exams, won't I?
Yes, eventually.
So I'll have to learn about it all, won't I?
Yes.
I tell ya. Yeah, this is what it's like. It's like you sit there, don't you, watching the ballet or the opera on the telly, and you say to yourself, that's fucking shit, that is. Because you don't understand it. So you turn it off and you go, well, that was just fucking rubbish.
And do you?
Yeah, I do. But I don't want to. I want to see. You don't mind me swearing, do you?
Not at all.
Do you swear?
Now stop.
You see, these educated people know so many words, don't they? It's these fucking stuck-up idiots I meet. They think they're royalty just because they don't swear. I mean, it's the aristocrats that swears more than anyone, isn't it? They're all effing and blinding all day long. It's all past me the fucking grouse for them, isn't it? You can't tell them that around my way. I mean, they don't understand. Sometimes I hate them. God, what's it like to be free?
Are you coming to a tree? They strung up a man, they say he murdered 3. Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be. 3 men at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree? They strung up a man, they say he murdered 3. Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be. We met at midnight in the hanging tree.
Which one? Which one? No, go on. We get. No, stay standing still.
Come on, fucking stand on the leg!
It's about to start already. Right, you can sit down.
Trial run. This is the Glyndwr where nothing is so.
Now, that piece you wrote for me on, what was it called?
Ruby through jungle?
Yes, it was,
Crap.
well, no. It was a descriptive piece. What you have to learn is criticism.
And what's the difference?
Well, you see, criticism is never objective. It should be approached almost as a science with referencing to established literary critique. Criticism is never subjective and should not be confused with partisan interpretation. In criticism, sentiment has no place. Now tell me, what did you think about its end?
I thought it was crap.
Crap?
Yeah, it was crap.
And who are you supporting in sight of this thesis? FR Leavis?
No, me?
What have I just told you? Me is subjective.
Well, it's what I think.
Would you kindly tell me why you thought Howard's Ends would, quote, crap, unquote?
Yeah, I will tell you. Because the man who wrote it was a louse. Because halfway through that book I can go on reading it because he, Mr. Bleeding E.M. Forster, says, quote, he is not concerned with the poor, unquote. That's why I didn't go on reading it. That's why.
Because he says we're not concerned with the poor?
Yeah, because the conditions of the poor in this country were appalling when he wrote that book.
But he was writing about the poor.
Well, it's immoral.
Amoral. You see, during an examination, you might get 1 or 2 marks if the examiner is sympathetic to the one dubious quality your work displays.
Oh yeah, and what's that?
Brevity.
Alright. But I hated that book. Can't we do something else? Can't we do something I like?
Simplify.
Chekhov.
We should really talk about you and Danny, my dear.
I don't want to.
All right. Chekhov. C is for Chekhov. We shall approach this as if it's a pub.
What are you doing with that stash behind there?
Little arrangement I have with my immediate employers. It's called discretion. They didn't ask me to stop drinking, just stop displaying the signs.
Do you actually like drinking?
Oh yes, I love it. Absolutely no guilt about it whatsoever.
When you were a poet, Frank, did you used to drink then?
Some. Not as much now. You see, the great thing about booze is it makes one think that one is actually saying something.
What were you doing when you wrote poetry?
You see, Rita, I realised when I was writing poetry I'd simply got it wrong. I spent years and years trying to create it, but instead was creating literature.
But I thought that's what poets did.
The poets don't believe in literature.
Well, I don't understand.
You will. You will.
But I don't think I will. I don't think I'll ever understand any of it. It's like you're starting all over again with a different language. I mean, I read that Chekhov play and I thought, it was dead sad. Like, it was dead tragic. And those kids were committing suicide. And that Constantine kid was there trying to produce his masterpiece and they were all laughing at him. And then I read the blurb on it and I thought, well, they said that he was some kind of comic genius.
Well, it's not comedy. Well, it's not stand-up comedy. Have you ever seen Chekhov in the theatre?
No, does he go?
Have you ever been to the theatre? You should go.
Hey, I know. Why don't we go tonight?
Me?
Yeah.
Go to the theatre? God, no, I hate the theatre.
Then why the hell you sent me?
Because you wanted to know.
Well, can't we just go?
And how do I explain it to Julia?
I'll just tell you from the theatre, no?
Oh yes, Julia, I shall not be home for dinner as I'm going to the theatre with ravishing Rita.
Let's go, girls.
Now here's something you'll enjoy. Rita, our dead good poet Blake.
Blake, William Blake.
The man himself. They never overcomplicate it, you will understand him.
I know.
Okay, well, look, read this. You know it?
Yeah, we did it in summer school.
Blake? Summer school? But
Yeah.
you weren't supposed to do Blake in summer school.
Well, we had this lecturer, right? And he was like a massive Blake freak, like seriously. Everything he did was relating to Blake. And he just like went around talking about Blake, and then he couldn't even go to the refectory without relating it to Blake. It was like Blake and chips, you know. And then we made this film for him at the end of the semester, and it was called, you know, it's like the Sick Crows, but we changed it about a bit. It was what was it? It was, oh Rose, thou art sick, just mangled and dead, because the rotten gardeners proved off thy head. We thought he'd be dead knocked, but he wasn't. He loved it.
So you've done Blake, you've covered all the songs of innocence and experience.
You can't do Blake without covering innocence and experience, can you?
No, of course not.
The student has become the master.
Hello, Rita, you're late.
Hello, Frank. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. It was simply unavoidable.
Was it really?
Oh, yes.
What's happened to your voice?
What do you mean what's happened to my voice? I've merely decided to talk properly. As Trish says, there's not much point in discussing beautiful literature in a lovely voice.
But you haven't got an ugly voice.
Oh, well...
Unless you did now.
Well, not now I don't. I have to practice constantly in everyday situations.
So you're going to talk like that for the rest of this tutorial?
Oh, well, if it's so difficult, Trish says I must preserve.
Well, you're trying to tell bloody Trish that I'm not giving a lecture to a bloody Dalek.
A Dalek? I'm not a Dalek.
Rita, stop it, talk properly.
I am talking properly, Frank. I must preserve.
What's that on your back?
What? Oh, it's grass.
Grass?
Yes, I got it from talking to the students down there on the lawn.
The student? You were talking to the students down there?
Seems to sound so surprised, Frank. I can talk now, you know.
I'm not surprised, George, just you were very aware of them before.
And God knows why, for students, they don't half come out with some rubbish, you know.
Don't be telling me.
I was just walking past, and then I overheard one of them talking, saying that they preferred Lady Chatterley to Sons and Lovers, and I thought, well, I can just carry on walking, or I can set him straight. So I set him straight. I said, you can't compare Lady Chatterley to Sons and Lovers because it's like trying to compare sparkling wine with champagne. And next minute there's a heated discussion with me right in the middle of it.
I thought you said the student preferred Chatterley as a novel.
Yes, he did.
So he didn't actually say it was superior?
Well, no, not at first, but he was an idiot. God, his argument just crumbled.
And you finished him off, did you?
Well, yes, he deserved it.
Confidence is a preference of the initial voyeur or watching romance. And more than simply can be avoided if you take a route straight through what is known as. George he gets intimidated by the dirty pigeons that came out about it. Who's that couple watching? Usually.
Sodom! No! Fuck 'em, Rita.
Who's Frank?
Students! Students complained, you know, something. And plain I've given the best bloody lecture I've ever bloody given.
Frank, are you pissed?
Pissed? I was bloody glorious, I was. I lost them twice.
Will they sack you?
The sack? God no. That involves some decision making. Be something like buggering the bursar or rape on a grand scale. Not just the students either. They suggested a sabbatical for a year or maybe 10. Europe, America, Australia, I suggested. But the illusion was completely bloody lost on them.
Frank, you're a bit mad.
I know I'm completely bloody off my cake, I am.
You know, it's not really fair on your students if the lecturers come in so pissed off the faces falling off the rostrum, is it?
I may have been pissed and fallen off the rostrum, but I went down talking, and I bloody came up talking.
I think they did it for your own good.
Maybe they did it because they're a bunch of mealy-mouthed pricks who wouldn't know a point if you beat them over the bleeding bloody head off them.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to go, Frank, and we'll do the essay.
No, wait, watch. Sober.
I think we'll carry on the tutorial next week.
No, wait, Rita, don't go. Look, this piece you wrote for me on
What's wrong
the
with it?
bottom. You seem to think they're talking about sexuality.
Well, it
Is it?
Unfortunately, Frank and Rita, you're both going home with nothing. You banked nothing. In fact, that was the worst game show I've ever had the misfortune to be a part of. You were just terrible. Absolutely awful. Do you know what? Go home. Go on, off you pop. I do apologise, audience. Shouldn't have to put up with this shit. It's a waste of time. I'm just done.
Thank you. Brother. Come on down. So, before we go on to the mad, wacky world of Connor, tell us about why educating Rita attracted you initially. Was that the first thing that attracted you?
It was the playwright, really.
Yeah.
Because, as I said in my pitch, like before, I love Willy, I love John Godber, Birkhoff, those kinds of practitioners. And I thought, why not blend them a little bit? Because I kind of got influenced by Godber in this one. And I love the kind of changing the section just like that and cutting it off. And I thought because they both Godber plays and Russell plays, I thought, I thought I could just put it in and just cut it off completely. So mix Stanislavski and Brett and just completely put Brett into educating Rita and see how we go on with that. I think it works. Jenny?
Oh, I don't know what to ask first. Explain to us about the cube and the whys and the hows and where it came from.
Well, I remember all the sessions that we did with LMI, like the workshop on Stanislavski and then Brett. And then literally, I think, well, where's Alex? Red Alex. Like, I was just telling her all these things about the cube. I weren't even like putting the barrier on it. I was just thinking, cube, and then it was Jurassic Park, but I didn't put that in. I went through that night, and I like wrote like a list of just random references I could put in. I didn't use some obviously, but yeah.
Just out of curiosity, where would Jurassic Park have gone? Where would you put Jurassic Park?
I don't know. I was waiting for two things there. We had those two jumping looking on at number one and just going bomb, bomb, bomb. Why not?
It was great how you were constantly challenging, because do you think we needed to be familiar with Educating Rita for this? No, not at all. I don't think we did. You were playing such games with us that we were a part of it, and all that business of bringing us in, and
yeah, I just thought of that.
We were sort of involved in it. We weren't watching. Well, at times we were watching a play, maybe, but we were still very much involved in it, and every now and again, snapping in and out drew us further into it somehow.
I just thought it's a game show, so why should the audience have to escape? Why does it just have to be those two? Why not involve everyone else?
And it sort of taps into the culture that we're living in at the moment, isn't it? I mean, it hasn't always been this way. I wasn't able to know that it wasn't this way. But we're ready to jump in, aren't we? We're participants. We're ready participants in any game show setting.
There was a little pragmatic measures that was in there. Obviously with Brett, he had what's it called? One of his techniques was gestus. And I don't know whether you saw that the cube is a representation of society looking in towards all of these labels that we have. So we saw both partial 100%, and then on the other side of the scale you've got kind of the working class kind of plot there. And then it was nice to see the shift after, I think it's the fourth scene when that comes in. It's nice to see how that develops and how that's shown. Because you can see the levels that they were using, like when we were here, and then mine there, when he was there.
And I was thinking of things like Big Brother and 1984 and all that stuff with the imagery, the scale, and him being all powerful, being in charge of the technology.
Yeah.
But why did you have him throw the toys out at the crib at the end and storm off?
I know it sounds daft, but why not? That's what we were just, because I did the TV recording in the CIB. I just basically gave this little script to him, and I get to play with it, just have a go and see what he come up with, and that's what he did.
Yeah, great, good. No criticism at all. You could have taken that to different places, couldn't you? The end, how you ended it, and how that made us feel at the end. Did you deliberately not ask us to leave at the end and clear the studio, or did you consider that at all at the end? The full lunch coming out and telling her, or did you just think, oh, it's not worth sending everybody out and getting back in for this discussion, or what? What was your decision at the end?
What was there before, I did choreograph a little dance to Dawn this way at the end. Now,
awesome.
I just thought, I don't know, I don't want to go too far with it. It was quite random. I thought I don't want to do too much. I thought I'd leave it there. I just thought it was quite a nice place to black out, really.
Yeah. It's a fine balance, isn't it, between being playful and going to the extent where it becomes, as most Python would say, just silly. You know what I mean? That sense of alienating because you've gone somewhere not too far, but you've taken it elsewhere. Oh, great. I love the fact it was grounded in Educating Rita, that you were constantly going back to that theme. That gave you kind of a grounding which you could play with then and go off and do the other stuff with, which reflected culture and character and their backgrounds, and you would imagine all sorts of things about their past, etc. Oh, great.
Did you initially, from the beginning, plan to have all these other things going on, or was it going to be straight play?
It was always the cue.
It was always just Did your actors know from the beginning, or did you?
They didn't. I told them it was always, yeah.
Give us an example of something you did in rehearsal that you felt was really successful.
One of the most successful things that we did in terms of character work. Do you remember that session that we did when I had you two on the couch? And then you heard two songs from here, because it worked that well, we put the songs in. They had the Mozart piece, which we were just using to get into the upper class kind of characters, how they would move, how they would speak, the characterisation. And that worked really well. We were both hilarious when we did that, and started laughing. And then obviously I put Blair Park Life on, and we saw the shift and how it happened. And I thought those could be transitions in there, because I think that's quite funny. It's so random. It was completely cut off any relationship with the actors at that time.
Questions from the floor? What strikes me is the way that you had an idea or a clear vision or a clear thought about process about what you wanted to do with it, and how you've managed to get the actors to buy into that and go along with you on the journey. So you were working with two. Was it? Do you think perhaps easier just with two people to get them to go along that journey, or you could have easily fitted in different characters, or?
No, yeah, I think I would have struggled if I had either one less actor or one more, because obviously there's only really two characters in education. There's two principals. Yeah.
I just thought it was great that the way that your vision of what you wanted to create with it, you managed to take them with you along with it. Yeah. To the extent of doing the stuff, the stuff around here, which is quite difficult often for performers to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
To do cold like that, snap into it.
Yeah.
So in a way you had to trust him really and go with his idea.
Yeah, but it was good. I mean, it's good for me because the challenge is always good, because then in the future, I'll know how.
Yes, because you step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's
Great. Any other points? No?
I'll just say thank you to Siobhan and Tosh.
It was great, and it was a lesson also for me in seeing how you were involved in technology actually in quite a dominant way, but still you're controlling it. You'd obviously incorporated it into the performance and you were controlling it all the while. You were controlling the technology, the lighting, etc. You were the master of that, really. So despite seeing Chris up there, actually it was you pulling all the strings behind. So that was very impressive. Well done. Great, thank you all very much. That's it for today. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Natasha first. Okay, so tomorrow's a jam-packed day tomorrow again. So 5 tomorrow. 5 or 6 now, okay. So thank you for coming to support. I mean, there are lots of you here now have been here regularly throughout the period. What you know is that you've seen some gems. You've seen visual performances, or you've seen interpretations, which have been great. You've seen choices of plays, which have been great, extracts, etc. You've seen lots of ideas, and some stuff has been fun and energetic. Whatever you've seen elements of every single show that you've seen something that you can learn from. And I think that's such a part of it. And hopefully, you're all going, oh, wish I'd have thought of that, or oh, wish I'd have done that, or yes. And that's all a part of the learning process. You'll probably learn more in many ways, you may well,